Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 25 of the Player to Player podcast. I'm Kirk.
I'm Luke.
And today,
It's spooky season.
it's pretty close. October 1st is Saturday, so it's a few days away. So we figured we'd get a head start. Today we're going to go over 10 games that you should play in October that'll get you in the spooky spirit and in the fall spirit in
Most
general.
Definitely.
We got a good list for you. We got some really exciting news. A whole bunch of things are happening.
Yeah.
We're back into new season for the video games industry, finally.
Definitely.
And it's going to be rolling pretty much nonstop until, I don't know, next summer. Yeah. I think we'll have plenty to talk about each week until then. But yeah, let's just get right into the news. What's the first thing we got up?
Detective Pikachu 2 could be nearing the end of its development. Word on the street is that the sequel to Detective Pikachu video game is close to wrapping up development. Pokemon fans may be surprised at this news because although a new Detective Pikachu game for the Nintendo Switch was announced 3 years ago, virtually nothing has been said about it since. One could be forgiven for thinking it was quietly canceled, but not so. Evidently, it still exists, and it sounds like it might be coming soon. Fans have been waiting patiently for any definitive news about the sequel, and it looks like they might finally have it. Apologies. There was a comment from the LinkedIn page of Jonathan Murphy, an employee at Detective Pikachu developer Creatures Incorporated, which mentions an unannounced project he worked on, as well as one nearing release, Detective Pikachu 2. It's a small status update ultimately, but it's the biggest game. It's the biggest the game has received since its announcement in 2019.
Yeah, they announced it. They're like, hey, we're working on this. And then nothing. And that was 3 years ago. So yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah. Have you played the first Detective Pikachu?
I haven't. No.
What system? I want to say Wii, right?
No, 3DS.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Well, cool.
Yeah.
I mean, do
It's
you know
got
anything about
It's
it?
got the huge amiibo. Do you have it over there?
Yeah, right here.
Where? Behind your massive head. There it is. Yeah. I don't know much about it. The movie was great, and it had nothing to do with the game.
Right.
But I'm glad they're making another one. I would like to play both of them. And that's a pretty good spooky season game too.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean,
anything
murder,
about it.
mystery, Pokemon,
Sure.
fall time.
Sure.
It all works out.
Next up, we have Marvel Spider-Man Miles Morales coming to PC.
Finally.
We got this from Kotaku, swinging right off the heels of Insomniac's PC release for Marvel Spider-Man Remastered last month. Its spin-off, Marvel Spider-Man Miles Morales, is making its way to PC sometime later this year. The Miles Morales PC port is being worked on by, help me out there, Nixxes Software, the same folks behind Spider-Man Remastered's PC port. Miles Morales is available to wishlist on Steam and the Epic Games Store.
Sometime later this year. Okay. Yeah, this is great because this is a Christmas game.
Yeah,
So
I'm very excited.
when we do our Christmas list, this will probably be at the top of it because it's snow and Christmas the whole time, and it's so much fun.
So I'm very excited for this because I am still playing Spider-Man. And about the time, I'll probably be done with Spider-Man for a little while, and then I'll get to play
for
Miles.
sure. Looking forward to that for sure.
More Marvel news. Motive Studio announces a single-player Iron Man game.
This is so exciting.
Electronic Arts Motive Studio today announced it is currently developing an Iron Man game in collaboration with Marvel Games. The as of yet untitled game is a single-player third-person action title starring everyone's favorite genius, billionaire, playboy, philanthropist Tony Stark. EA heralds this game as the first of several new games developed in a new collaboration with Marvel. We have, who's this quote from? Vice President and Creative Director at Marvel Games, Bill Roseman, said in the announcement, "We are thrilled to collaborate with the talented team at Motive Studio to bring their original version of one of Marvel's most important, powerful, and beloved characters.
Cool.
Their experience delivering both established entertainment worlds and thrilling gameplay, combined with their authentic passion for the armored icon, will fuel our quest to deliver a love letter to a legendary hero in the form of the ultimate Iron Man video game."
Cool. That's exciting.
Very
I could
excited.
speculate about that all day long. They gave us one picture, and it's probably not even going to be
Iron
indicative
Man.
of what it looks like in the video game.
Like,
so, EA and Iron Man, that's a bummer. Hopefully they have creative control and EA doesn't like force too many like $3 skins into the game or anything like that.
I mean, it's Disney and EA's partnership is going back a while now, because they did Battlefront and like so and Fallen Order,
right,
and and that isn't really being a thing with
that's
their
true
games,
that
so.
I mean, yeah, but that's DICE though, and DICE is like pretty independent of EA.
This
and
is also
EA still managed to
Studio.
mess up both of those. Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So
Motive, I don't know a lot about Motive, but if they're one of the more micromanaged studios, that could potentially be a bummer. But
so I mean, hopefully
we'll
it's
see.
not. Hopefully we get an awesome Iron Man game.
Yeah, I mean, I would love that.
I would love a really good Iron Man game.
Story focused, open world. Iron Man.
Absolutely.
Yeah, just like
Do you think
SpiderMan.
He'll look like RDJ in any way?
No.
I don't think so either.
I think they'll do a more comic book version.
Right.
They said their original vision, so this could potentially be totally different.
Right. Yeah.
So,
who do you know who made the Iron Man video game based off the movie?
No, but that game was not great.
Well, no, I know
I think that was Activision.
Like, was it really?
I think so.
Because what I was gonna say is like if I don't know when it said their original vision of it, that made me kind of think that maybe they were involved in a previous.
No, like their own original vision.
Oh, I
like
see.
Not
okay.
original being
right.
the first, original being a new take.
Right. Okay, that makes sense. More video game news from Disney. They reportedly want 2 Star Wars games per year.
So
I am all
it's about
for
time.
that.
It's about time.
Yeah.
Like,
seriously.
oh my gosh, we've had over the last 10-ish years, I feel like we've gotten a handful of Star Wars games. Like, really hasn't been a lot, and an even smaller number of those have been good Star Wars games.
Right.
So I'm so stoked. I feel like when we were kids, there was a Star Wars game coming out every couple months.
Yeah.
Like there was the Bounty Hunter game, Jango Fett. There was the Clone Wars game. There was multiple different Clone Wars games. There was Battlefront 1, 2, and 3. There was the Force Unleashed games. There was like so many things.
I forgot how many Star Wars games there were until
you guys did the list. Yeah, totally.
And I was like, oh, 10 Star Wars games. Like,
no,
there are really played 10 Star Wars games.
Oh, for sure you have.
Like, I've played like 25 Star Wars games.
At least.
Like, this, easy list. But this is very exciting. Disney is betting big on the Star Wars video games. The publisher is reportedly planning to put out 2 new Star Wars games every year, consisting of 1 big AAA game and 1 smaller game every fiscal year. That includes several games that have already been announced as part of its upcoming slate. Insider also reports that several more games are also in pre-development. It's not clear which of these are it's not clear which of these are smaller projects, or if anything in the currently announced slate fits that designation. This also suggests some of the games are still years away, like Star Wars Eclipse, which we're already aware of.
Yeah.
But
cool.
two a year, that means there's more to be announced.
Right.
Like we have games on.
Well, depending on when they plan on.
Right. Yeah. I guess that's true. Once they officially go to that, but
and in every single one of them, James Earl Jones will be the voice of Darth Vader.
That's true. That's good segue into
this is so sweet.
Next news topic. James Earl Jones signs off on AI recreations of his Darth Vader voice.
So cool.
James Earl Jones, the 91-year-old legendary voice actor behind the most menacing voice from the galaxy far, far away, has signed off on AI recreations of his Darth Vader voice as he looks to step back from the iconic role. The news comes via a report from Vanity Fair about how Ukrainian tech workers at Respeecher worked to make Darth Vader sound like he did 45 years ago for Disney Plus Obi-Wan Kenobi series. Despite the ongoing Russian invasion of their country, Jones... Oh, that was a weird way to read that. The company Respeecher is a Ukrainian company.
Yeah, and they were able to do that despite the Russian invasion.
Jones' voice has obviously changed over the years, and he has stepped back from the role. So bringing in AI tech is a way to keep the voice we all know and love alive for many years to come.
I get it, and I hear the negative arguments against this, and I couldn't care less because it's Darth Vader. Like, the fact that this is like the same kind of thing with that H3 did with Jay-Z, like to like use AI restructuring to like make him say essentially whatever you want. The fact that they can do that with Vader and it sounded as good as it did in Disney Plus.
He sounded
I
amazing.
thought those were original lines from James Earl Jones, and he sounded better than he did in Rogue One, like way better. So I'm fine with this, like 100%.
Yeah, it is a little concerning.
I guess
the idea of it is concerning.
Yeah, I
don't
know.
Like when this first, and I mentioned when we first saw this news, and I mentioned how the Avengers cast could voice all of those characters till the end of time in every cartoon and video game.
Yeah,
you were like, well,
that for example, I don't love that because I want more interpretations of those characters. Right. Darth Vader is the most iconic villain in all of cinema history.
Absolutely, for sure. And I mean, I can see some characters this being something that I like for. Yeah. Master Chief, for instance.
Sure.
Like same voice actor forever.
Yeah.
Even the Halo announcer, double kill. You know, like that guy forever.
Mario.
You know. Well, see, that's the thing though. Like Mario, I don't know. I mean,
Charles Martinet's done Mario
has
since
he done all? Okay.
Always.
I guess that's fair. I don't know. It's just like it's the idea. There's a few red flags of this being able to happen. Is all I'm saying.
Yeah. No, I get that, but because it's Vader, it's fine. Does it set a problematic precedent? Perhaps, but in terms of like this specific announcement, I'm over the moon about this. Right. I think I even said on the podcast that they should do this. I think
I've been talking about this for a long time.
Totally,
But Reese Beecher also helped with Luke's voice in Mandalorian.
Oh, did they?
They did.
That's cool.
So they've
that explains why he sounds so good. I think anyway.
Yeah, no, absolutely, because they're recreating.
I think he sounds better than he looks. I think he looks great, but I think his voice is like
most definitely.
Whoa,
most definitely.
You know
what's crazy though is how great the CGI for Luke is. And how great the voice is becoming. Yeah. You could almost remake the original Star Wars in the next 10 years.
Totally.
With all of the same cast, all of the same voices, like just with updated graphics and everything. That's I don't know. It's strange.
Yeah, it's weird to think about. Like it would be interesting to see the first full production. Like it's all AI.
Well, and you think about it. So video games get remasters.
Movies get remasters too, but
not,
there's only so much you can do.
Massive,
not even close.
You go watch episode 4. Does it look better than when it released?
Significantly,
yes, absolutely. Yeah. But does it look like as good as like Resident Evil 1 to Resident Evil 1 remake or 2? You know what I mean. So but if technology continues to improve, which it will. It might be like you might be able to remake an entire movie through just CGI and AI generated voices.
I don't know. I'm not going to say it's off the table because of how many things get remade and redone.
I don't know if there's necessarily a market to do that. I don't know.
I'd watch it.
Well, I mean, I would too because it's Star Wars. But if you're saying like other like. I mean, video games are being remastered.
No, you wouldn't spend the money on anything other than Star Wars, Lord of the Rings.
It'd be stupid expensive now.
Right.
But again, if it continues to improve so much, then maybe not. So
weird.
Strange but just I wanted to touch on the two games a year for Star Wars. Do you remember when Marvel announced they were doing 2 movies a year?
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember people talking about like worrying about quality?
Yeah, oversaturation.
Yeah. That didn't happen.
It depends on who you ask, but I agree.
Yeah, like I mean, yeah.
Also, with this, Star Wars is different. Video games are different.
Definitely.
Video games are different because for each game they have an individual studio with hundreds of people working on all of this stuff. And if they're AAA games, it's like there's the money, there's the talent, there's the people.
So does Disney
and
fund
with Star
the
Wars
games?
specifically, there's so much you can do story wise. Like there are literally thousands of years of established material that you can fit your story into and play with.
But isn't every game going forward canon?
Yeah.
So don't they have to have like some sort of approval process?
They will be working very close with Lucasfilm Games.
Yeah. So Lucasfilms is publishing these, right?
Lucasfilm Games is publishing. Yeah.
Yeah. So are they funding them? Is that how that works?
It depends. They could be a co-publisher and like they're providing the rights, and then like EA is providing the money, for example. Does this say?
No, it doesn't.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't say anything about that. That's more of a question about just video games in general. Because there's some amazing indie developers out there.
I mean, sometimes the publisher provides money. Like oftentimes, yes. Sometimes it's just distribution and marketing and all of that. It depends on what the developer themselves bring to the table and how far into the game. Like if you get an indie game that's totally finished, like all the publisher is gonna do is put money into marketing and getting it eyes on it and making sure it's at the top of the store and things like that. So it just depends. It's just like movies.
I mean, obviously, I'm excited for a AAA Star Wars game every single year, but I'm also excited for the smaller games. You know, like I don't know. There's some pretty amazing indie games out there, and it'd be really neat.
The thing about Star Wars is like
they published.
I don't care about Angry Birds, but if you make Star Wars Angry Birds, I'll play it, and I did. I don't care about Candy Crush, but if it's Star Wars Candy Crush, what the heck, you know? Like
totally.
So even for all those like dumb mobile games and stuff.
Yeah, and
like
Star
Star
Wars
Wars
we're getting one AAA game a year. So like the smaller games are cool.
Is that what it said?
One AAA and one smaller game.
Oh,
so the smaller games are awesome, and I'm excited for them. And it's not gonna leave me like with what they did at D23 when it was half mobile games, and it was like this isn't what I want.
And it won't feel like oversaturation if that's the case too, because it'll be one huge Star Wars game every year.
Right.
We'll get Fallen Order 2. We'll get Star Wars Eclipse. We'll get the Ubisoft one, and then on the side we'll get all these like little one-off games.
Do you think
maybe like
Hunters?
A Star Wars visual novel or something like that would be cool.
Yep.
Hunters is
Do you think that
closer
would be
to AAA.
A smaller?
No, Hunters
AAA.
is a lot of money behind it.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's very, very excited. Some very cool Star Wars news there.
Yep.
This is interesting. It's also the type of news that I kind of hate. There's an unannounced Silent Hill game that got a rating in South Korea.
Yeah, I don't even really consider that news. Like,
yeah, exactly. So the more I read about this too, you'll kind of feel the same way.
Okay.
A new Silent Hill game might be on the way, according to a Korean rating that has appeared online. The Game Rating and Administrative Committee of Korea has rated Silent Hill The Short Message, with the publisher for this title being listed as.
I have no idea how to say that.
Don't know how to say it.
Uniana.
Yeah, according to Jimetsu, Uniana. Regularly publishes Konami games in South Korea. Other details on what exactly this new Silent Hill experience could be weren't revealed in the listing, and it's worth noting that, say it again,
Uniana
also runs an arcade cabinet business. Another dormant Konami franchise, Metal Gear, infamously got a pachinko machine, even as the series itself was otherwise largely ignored.
Yeah, so it doesn't really mean anything.
An arcade cabinet.
Also, the title, the short message, I don't know, that just sounds like a dumb pachinko machine kind of thing. Yeah. So I don't know. According to a lot of people that are in the industry and know what they're talking about, specifically Nate the Hate, he's convinced that Silent Hill is coming out.
I mean, it's been
very soon.
Like it's been a decade since we've had a Silent Hill game.
Yeah, that's probably on the way. But I don't think this means anything.
Yeah.
So.
No, I don't think so either. I don't know. The title was enough for me to read about it a little bit.
Yeah.
But as soon as I read about the pachinko Metal Gear game, I was like, oh. Yeah.
Konami's the worst.
Surprising news, maybe?
I don't think so.
No? E3 got dates set for 2023.
Yeah.
I mean, we talked about there was quite a bit of talk about E3 not coming back at all.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it needs to, and honestly, like, they could still cancel.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not surprised that they set a date, but I just don't really care anymore.
Yeah.
You know? I'm all in on Jeff Keighley's Summer Game Fest now.
Yeah.
Like, I really enjoy it. I think he does a great job. I think outside of that, publishers and developers do a really good job of self-marketing. I mean, there's so many people that have followed the Nintendo Direct style of announcements.
Mm-hmm.
Even indie studios like Yacht Club Games, like PlayStation does it, Xbox does it. Like, everybody does their own events now. So I don't really see the point of an E3.
Yeah. But it's in person.
I mean, for sure, but
I do see a benefit.
So
to
here's
that.
the thing about that, though. Is it press only?
Let me read about it. After a 3-year hiatus from live events that included one digital event in 2021, The Electronic Entertainment Expo will return to the Los Angeles Convention Center for E3 23. June 13th through 16th, and it will feature separate areas and days for industry and consumer events.
Okay, that's
E3
good.
business days are scheduled for June 13th through 15th and will be limited to registered industry members for networking, meetings, and more.
Okay.
Media will also be allowed to go hands-on with upcoming games in dedicated industry-only spaces, including one half of the convention center. E3 Gamer Days and the portion of the event open to the public will run June 15th and 16th in the other half of the convention center, separate from the industry area. This will allow players to go hands-on with the same upcoming games, as well as connect with developers, content creators, and more. This area will be open to industry members during the designated days also.
That's better. It doesn't give content creators much of a heads up on the public, though. It's literally 24 hours.
Right.
So,
I mean, 24 hours is pretty, like...
not enough to make a good video.
Yeah.
You know, like for the guys that are going to E3 and doing E3 recap videos, those come out a week later, you know.
Right.
So I don't know. I like the idea of doing it separately that way and having the last 2 days dedicated to players and stuff. But if you're going to give them the same access that the media has, it's almost like, what's the point?
Well, it's different access, though.
I mean, it just said hands-on with the same video games and all of that.
Well, right, but that's going to be, I mean, it's a completely separate part of the convention center.
Yeah,
right?
it's for fans
so
only. It's not like there's going to be networking and game deals going on.
Right,
and
yeah,
So,
I know,
so yeah, that's the positive of separating it. But if they're getting the same game demos and the same kind of, like...
Well, yeah, but my point is there might be game demos that they don't release to the public because some
maybe it said the same
want...
game demos though.
Yeah, and I guess that could be a like requirement of coming to E3 is you have the same demo for.
I mean, I wouldn't see the allure of going as a regular person if it wasn't that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right. I'm just saying that because it's separate, there could be some games or maybe more details of games on one side than the other.
Yeah, sure.
Is what I'm saying.
Yeah. Again, it's better. I still don't think there's a point. I also don't trust them. Like, they're terrible at planning and organizing events. And the last, 3 E3s have been a disaster. So,
right.
I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, we'll cover it, you know. So.
Yeah, like, it's a big enough
but
name that
that's the
people
other thing, too, is it's like you and I get almost the same kind of access that media going there does, except we don't get to play the demos. Like, what's kind of the difference, really, you know?
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
I don't know. I don't see it being worth it for the developers specifically.
It will help with the news cycle, though.
I also don't think Xbox or PlayStation will be there.
I think they'll be there.
Xbox hasn't been at E3 in years.
Really?
And neither has PlayStation.
Neither has PlayStation?
Yeah.
Well, I guess maybe not.
Nintendo probably will, but
yeah. I don't know. Interesting. Our final news for the day.
Speaking of indie devs,
Donkey has set up an indie game publishing company.
Heck yeah.
Called Big Mode.
Big Mode.
When I started watching his announcement video, I almost thought it was fake because it's called Big Mode. Yeah. But also it's Donkey.
He's got a big old frog.
Sense.
Yeah.
Video game YouTuber Donkey is starting an indie game publisher. The popular gaming YouTuber Jason Gastro, is that how you say his last name?
I guess.
I've never heard that before.
I don't think I have
has announced Big Mode, a new game publishing company that will help indie games stand out from the crowd. This is a quote from Donkey's video. I've been on YouTube for 11 years now, and one of the core themes of my channel has always been to slam dunk soulless cash grabs into the garbage can and lift up and praise the truly inspired works of art in this medium. For years and years, I have always sought out the very best indie games out there and have tried to do them justice, putting millions of eyes on the games that actually deserve attention. Big Mode is founded by Jason along with his wife and fellow YouTuber Leah, and this is a quote from him again. Me and Leah aren't just the faces of this company, we are the company. This is our vision, and our number one priority is to publish some of the very best games out there. In today's indie landscape, buying a game can be like buying a loot crate in Counter-Strike. You don't know what you're going to get, but you're probably going to be sad. one aspect that seems to be a real crowd pleaser is that Big Mode will not publish any games containing NFTs, blockchain, or crypto.
Nice.
Developers can already get in touch with Big Mode to submit their games for consideration.
That's awesome.
This is super cool.
Yeah,
like
I love it.
Everything that he publishes is
it's
gonna be great.
It's gonna be at
and
least
it's
an 8.
probably gonna get a Donkey video too, if you think about it. Like,
that seems like a conflict of interest.
You think so?
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe not.
I mean,
maybe
he's
it's just
promoting
marketing.
his own game that he's publishing.
Yeah, but for sure.
But also, he doesn't make a lot of videos, so maybe they won't.
Yeah.
Because I don't know how. I'm sure they are.
Well, he's been doing one a week for
hundreds, if not thousands, of like games.
Yeah.
Of people like trying to get.
Oh no, he'll do.
Mode,
well, for each one that he actually publishes, he might do a video.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
But. That's the
cool.
news.
Yeah,
so,
lots of great news this week.
Yeah.
I'm stoked for Donkey. And I'm stoked for all the games. He'll probably do his own E3 each year.
Yeah.
Of like games that Big Mode is working with, Mm-hmm. So.
And Super Mario Bros. 2 will take the list every time.
Oh no, like I meant his own event, not his own.
Yeah,
E3
I know.
review. Yeah. Anyways. Okay, so 10 games for you to play in October. We're gonna go down the list. We ordered these kind of based on how October-y they are.
Yeah, kind of.
But for the most part, they all take place in fall or around there, or they have spooky vibes or something like
definitely.
that. So we'll just go down these. We can go every other one to start with, at least until that stops working.
Well, starting off our list is Alan Wake. Which you can play on PC and Xbox for sure. I think
PlayStation also.
I'm pretty sure it's on Game Pass.
Cool.
It was on Game Pass at one point.
I'm pretty sure it's also on PlayStation.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Probably not Switch though.
No, not Switch. But Alan Wake, and there's DLC
I feel like Alan Wake is coming to Switch.
I'm not sure.
It might not be already, but yeah.
I could see it coming to Switch. It's not like a very graphic overhauling game or anything.
I feel like I remember hearing that Alan Wake Remastered was coming to Switch as a cloud version.
Oh, okay.
Doesn't that sound familiar?
Yes, that does.
So, anyways, it's readily available.
And there's Alan Wake DLC, which I have never played.
And Alan Wake 2 is coming out really soon.
I will probably play this month.
Yeah, I think Alan Wake 2 is coming out next year. Is that right?
It's pretty soon. So
cool.
But Alan Wake, it's a very spooky game.
Yeah, super spooky.
It's a scary.
Well, it's
game.
scary.
Like,
yeah, I think.
If you want to be scared of the dark,
player discretion is advised.
Play Alan Wake.
Yeah,
no
kidding.
You will be afraid of the dark playing this game.
No kidding. But it's got some really unique mechanics.
Absolutely. It's got cool mechanics. It's got
great
story.
Great story.
You play as a writer who is he's got writer's block. I feel like that's how every writer's story
they always have writer's block.
Writer has writer's block, so he goes out to cabin in the woods and something happens. And it's usually bad. And in this case, it is very bad. And it's a very fun game. I remember playing this game for the first time, and I loved this game.
Yeah, it's super good.
It's a great game to start out with.
Next, we have SpiderMan. For PS4, PS5, and PC.
And PC, yep.
Or Spider-Man Remastered. Either one. Same game. Remastered obviously is better.
Because on PC,
no, it's better.
Is it remastered on PS5?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought it was just remastered for PC.
Well, yeah, they're not gonna port the other version. It's the same game. It just is graphically better. That's the only difference.
Sure.
It is a little buggy on PC.
Yeah, most definitely.
But they're working on it. They're pushing out patches pretty consistently. Anyways, this game takes place in the fall.
Yep.
And it gets more and more fall as time goes on. And I think it even ends around Christmas time.
I'm not sure.
But I don't really remember. I feel like it does though. Anyways, the fall colors are all over the city. You watch Central Park go from green to brown and orange and yellow and it's a beautiful game. And there is even a Halloween party in the game.
Halloween party. There's even dialogue about Halloween throughout the in the game, unrelated to the Halloween party.
It's not super Halloween-y.
It's not, but
there is a portion of the game that has some Halloween stuff. But overall, it's a pretty fall game. That's all.
It's a folly game.
Yeah.
It's
I feel like this could have been number 10,
and I
even,
was like,
or 11.
well, I mean, I was playing it and I was like, oh, like fall, like I'm excited, like fall's coming, you know.
Totally.
Taking number 8 is Murdered Soul Suspect. You have not played this game,
no,
right? Do you know anything about it?
It sounds kind of familiar, but go ahead.
So it's not the best game in the world. It's very short.
Oh, shocking! It's in every top 10 I've ever watched.
It's very short, but that makes it a good October game if you're trying to play a bunch of fall stuff. You know, like you get this short game you can finish. You play as a detective hunting a serial killer in Salem, Massachusetts. Like, how more?
Oh, that's cool.
October, Halloween could you get?
I don't know. We have 7 more games.
To my knowledge, it doesn't take place during October or fall necessarily, but the fact that it's Salem and you're hunting a serial killer, like, justifies it for the list. But within the first 5 minutes of the game, you are inside, you know, you're at the crime scene, you fall out of a window, die, and then you play as a ghost for the rest of the game.
Oh wow.
It's not a spoiler because it's on
that's the whole thing.
Everything. That's the point of it. Yeah, it might not even be
you know what? I think I started this. Is this where you're like solving crimes as a ghost?
Well, you're hunting the serial killer as a ghost. You're not really solving crimes.
Maybe different.
Okay. But I remember enjoying it when I first played it. There's lots of collectible stuff you can do. Cool. I think it's worth revisiting for this October.
Yeah. Next is Majora's Mask. The whole game is super spooky. I wouldn't qualify this game as scary.
No.
There are parts of it maybe that could be considered scary, but overall, there's a lot of areas that have a very fall spooky vibe. Everything is jagged edge because it's a 64 game, and so it's got that.
Yeah.
It's also the whole theme of the game is masks. You know.
Yeah.
And the world is ending. It's kind of a Groundhog's Day sort of thing with 3 days in a row. And it's a Zelda game, so in my book this is a 10. I think it's probably one of, if not the best game on the list. But in terms of like, this is the season to play Majora's Mask for sure.
Most definitely. And then number 6, we have Arkham Knight. I haven't played this one.
So you actually don't know anything about Arkham Knight.
Except that it takes place on Halloween.
On Halloween, yeah. Arkham Knight's great. I love all of the Arkham games. This one is probably my least favorite. Well, maybe the first one is my least favorite.
Okay.
And then this one. It does have the Batmobile, though, which can be fun sometimes, but there's so many Batmobile-focused missions that it is so annoying.
Okay. I was talking to
and it's kind of unnecessary. I really like those missions, but if you don't, I get how they would be, frustrating. But, yeah, it takes place during Halloween. It is Batman. It was very Halloween. It's beautiful game. Out of all 4 of them, it's obviously
Halloween decorations throughout it all?
Yeah, definitely. And there's fun little Halloween Easter eggs. There's references to Batman the Long Halloween, which is one of his more popular comic runs.
Yep.
And just Batman games in general are fun in Halloween. So play any of the Arkham games, really.
Definitely.
Arkham City and Arkham Origins are great. Oh, yeah. Origins takes place on Christmas.
Yep. That'll probably hit our Christmas list also.
Definitely.
Next, I'll take this one. Life is Strange. Have you played Life is Strange?
I played like 10 or 15 minutes of it.
It's worth playing.
Yeah.
And this month is a good month to do it.
Okay.
It takes place during fall. It's a mystery. It's a little spooky. Not really scary, but it's got some like spookier elements to it.
More mysterious elements.
Yeah.
Right?
It's a mystery game.
Sure.
And then the entire game is just like a fall palette. Like if I could give the game a color, it would be yellow.
I bet this looks great on the OLED.
Yellow orange game. Yeah, absolutely. And it is during the fall, so all the leaves and all the trees and everything are changing colors. And
great.
I actually haven't finished it. I played most of it.
You haven't finished it?
No. I was playing
You played this like 2 or 3 years ago.
I was playing it on Game Pass, and then
it got taken off.
Right when I was in the middle of it got taken off.
But you can probably find it for $10.
Yeah, I'll probably grab it and finish it this month also.
Cool.
So,
next up is Stardew Valley, which is another 10. This game is phenomenal. I put 80 hours into this game in a week, I think.
Wow.
Yeah, I played the heck out of this game. It is so much fun. The whole point of it is you're kind of growing your farm, and you get animals and you get crops and you get all this, and then there's a really cute little town with people that you can have relationships with and learn to be friends with or romance or whatever. It's like Animal Crossing, but with way, way, way deeper mechanics.
Right.
And like an actual story. And there's actually combat, and there's mining, and there's other locations that you can go to. Stardew Valley is it's such a great game. And during the fall season in the game, it's so gorgeous.
How quickly do you get to fall in the game?
So each day I think is like, I want to say 30 minutes or something like that. And then they have seasons. I think each season is 30 days or something like that. Okay. So a few hours. Maybe a little bit more than that.
And it'll be fall.
Yeah. But the whole point of the game is like planting and harvesting your crops.
Yeah.
So if you play this through October, I think you'll really get a kick out of it. Yeah, Stardew Valley is excellent. Highly recommend.
Next on the list is probably my favorite fall-related game that I've played, which is Animal Crossing.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
like,
that's
the
thing about Animal Crossing, and it's the ultimate seasonal game because it takes place in this, like, it has a day-by-day calendar.
If you log into Animal Crossing today, your leaves are changing colors. Isabel's going to be wearing a sweater.
Today. Is it the first day of fall that it?
I think so.
Oh, so maybe
we're past the first day of fall already, I think.
Well, a few days.
Not quite yet.
No, we are.
We're right around there. But anyways, there's also, they talk about the Halloween party coming at the end of the month.
Right.
And Jack is going to come to on Halloween. And
I think you get to start collecting candy October 1st. Yeah.
You get to start collecting candy
and
for
all the spooky decorations.
The
decorations.
Your island. You can decorate your island with pumpkins.
I love this game so much.
And yeah, it's a very fun game. It's one of some of my favorite times ever playing Animal Crossing was October.
Oh yeah. Well, and then on Halloween night, there's an event where you go trick or treating and you trade candy, and Jack shows up and you get costumes,
dress up in costumes, and all your villagers
so much
dressed
fun.
Up.
It's so fun. They act all scared when they see you and stuff. It's great.
And they'll give you tricks or treats too.
Right.
So
yep.
Yeah, it's great.
It's perfect.
Yeah.
This will also be on our Christmas list.
Yeah. This might be number 1 on our Christmas list.
Probably.
We'll see.
Yeah. Number 2 is Firewatch. Firewatch is the reason it's so high on the list is because this is the most fall time colors pretty game I have maybe ever played.
Really?
Yeah. I think it actually technically takes place during the summer. Or towards the end of summer. It's during fire season. Right. So it's like August, September, October, somewhere in there. But this is the most orange game I've ever played. Yeah. Like, it is so gorgeous. And the story is really fun. This is, by definition, a walking simulator. So you kind of just walk around and do different activities, and you kind of progress through the story. But it's very immersive, and it doesn't feel like that. It doesn't feel like, oh my gosh, I'm just walking. Like, you're actively investigating the story and like what's going on and trying to.
How long is it?
I would say like 4 to 6 hours, probably. Okay. It's not very long, but it's very good. I like it a lot. Yeah, Firewatch is a great one. So,
yeah, I'll probably play that this month. Also.
We should go straight to our number 1 and then do honorable mentions after.
Okay. Our number 1 is Luigi's Mansion 3.
Yeah. So Luigi's Mansion 3, is the most October game you can play. It's a Halloween game. It literally was released on Halloween.
Oh, really?
When it came out a couple years ago. This is arguably the best looking game on the list. The graphics in this game are gorgeous. It is so pretty. It starts off right at the beginning, driving your bus through the fall colors.
Nice.
In the trees. It kind of reminded me of VeggieTales movie. If you remember. No? Anyways. No. Random. But It's super pretty. Each floor of the hotel has a different theme. So there's like an Egyptian theme, and there's like a movie set theme, and there's like obviously a hotel theme, and like each level has different themes that you kind of play through. And there's ghosts that you capture on each one of the levels that are full of personality. And then they have the standard ghosts that you capture. But it's like a Ghostbuster game where you play as Luigi. It's super fun. It's not, I don't think I could describe it as spooky even in the slightest, but it is very Halloween vibes. Like all the like bendy and like jagged edges and like that style, if that makes any sense. It's kind of like walking around like Walmart during Halloween, but like very aesthetic.
Right.
And it's a great game. I love it. I mean, it's probably another 10 in my book. Like I really like this game.
I remember you playing this, and you
it's so much fun. Katrina loved it too. So I think this game is honestly for anybody. I think could enjoy this. You should play it.
Switch, right?
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
Only Switch.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What about, have you played any of the other ones?
Yeah. They're all good for Halloween. Yeah. Totally.
Well, cool. That's a pretty solid list.
Yeah, I think so. And then there was a few other games that we thought of, just a couple, but Fallout 4 takes place in a wasteland. I don't know about fall time.
Yeah, but it is like it is October, Halloween time. There's Halloween decorations all over the place in the game. But
not in 4. I think in 76.
And 4.
I don't think so. Have you played 4?
Nope.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't remember any of this.
That is Daniel, who
has put hundreds of hours into that game.
1,000 hours into Fallout 4.
All right,
so
fair enough.
With authority.
Fair enough.
There's Halloween decorations.
Yeah, so there's that. The Last of Us takes place in the fall, and there's zombies.
It's a zombie game.
Scary.
It's scary. Like.
So that's a good one.
Good. And then Hitman. Do you know why?
Because you wear costumes.
You wear costumes on every level.
Hitman is so much fun. I don't regardless of the fact that it doesn't go in this list at all.
Yeah.
Hitman is such a good game. I loved those games. And they're on Game Pass right now, I think.
Oh, perfect.
So I'll have to check those out. But that's our list. Unless you have anything that you thought of.
No, that's it. I feel like that's a great list.
Yeah, I think so too.
There's plenty of short games on here, so you could play a bunch of these. I wouldn't necessarily call SpiderMan short, but it's 30 hours probably.
Yeah. Around there.
Murdered is a short game. Life is Strange is a short game. Animal Crossing isn't a short game, but it's a game you play 15-20 minutes every day. Firewatch is a short game.
Yep.
You could play a lot of these games this month and get you really into the fall spooky season.
Yep.
So.
I think that's a pretty good list. So
what have you been playing?
Nothing.
Still nothing.
It's been a season of consuming different kinds of content. Been watching Andor, been watching SheHulk.
How's Andor? No spoilers. I haven't seen it.
It's fine. Here's my thing. We're 3 episodes into a probably 20 plus episode show.
Oh, really?
Well, I mean, there's 2 seasons. So
right.
And I don't think they're only 8 episode seasons. I think they're more than that.
Okay.
So I'm willing to take my time and let it build. With Obi-Wan, it was like, okay, we have 6 episodes. Every single one of these better be a banger, or I'm going to be really upset. With Andor, it's like, this is good.
Yeah.
I'm not riveted.
Sure.
I'm not stoked, but I've seen the first 2 episodes. I haven't watched the third one.
Okay.
And so far it's good. It's a cool Star Wars story that is unrelated from everything else, and I love when they do that.
Yes.
Yeah.
I tried to start it, but it was very late, so I was falling asleep.
Yeah.
Unrelated to the show.
Yeah.
So I only got probably 20 minutes into the first episode, and I think it was you who posted the picture of it and was like, why does this look like Star Trek? But there's been multiple occasions where I mean, this feels pretty Star Trek-y.
There was just one clip of it specifically that I paused it because I was doing something, and I looked back and I was like, what show is this? It just kind of looked like Star Trek in that scene.
But one of the things I like about Star Trek is it just feels like life is happening within a sci-fi universe kind of thing.
Yeah,
and
totally.
A lot of the Star Wars content doesn't really feel like
I'm
that.
not saying
because
it's
we have
like
some,
Star Trek.
No, I know, but I like a lot of Star Wars content is some like big epic story.
Yeah.
You know, like, but that's not all of Star Wars.
Right.
There's tons of just life that happens within Star Wars. And the 20 minutes I got into, it does kind of feel like that.
Yeah.
And I am really excited.
So
for
one
that.
thing I'll say that you'll appreciate, I think, is this kind of security team. They're like the antagonists of the show. They remind me a lot of Zerka Corporation.
Ooh,
from
I like that a lot.
from Knights of the Old Republic.
Yeah.
So that's an interesting dynamic.
I love like Zerka. I mean, I hate Zerka. They're terrible.
so.
But I
but
love,
that's the vibe
you know,
I'm getting from
right.
these guys.
That's cool. I like that.
Probably not intentional. Maybe I guess they could have lifted inspiration, but no, Andor's fine. It's like, well, fine makes it sound negative. It's good. It's just not
It's not Mandalorian.
Right.
It is the highest rated show since Mandalorian, though.
Yeah, it's quality stuff for sure. But also, again, like nothing's really happening. You know what I mean? Like I don't really care about Cassian yet. So I also kind of know how his story turns out.
Right.
So yeah, I don't know. It's fine. She-Hulk is also fine. I haven't watched the Daredevil episode yet, which is the latest one.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see how that goes. Based on the last 5 episodes, though, I don't really have super high hopes.
No, I don't either.
But Charlie Cox's Daredevil is
so. Did you see
really exciting.
Did you see episode 5, the one where she gets her costume?
Yep.
And we saw the yellow Daredevil mask. Do you think he's wearing the yellow suit in this show?
He is.
He is.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
I knew that when the trailer came out.
I didn't.
That was the thing I didn't want to tell you.
Okay.
So it's cool that you got that reveal with that mask.
Yeah. No, I didn't. I did not know that he was gonna wear the yellow costume.
Also, how could you not know episode 6 was a Daredevil episode? They literally ended it on a Daredevil mask.
Well, I mean, I knew he was coming soon. I just didn't know, like.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, I knew he was gonna be in the show, but I didn't know to what length.
Yeah.
Like,
totally.
He could have had a 10-second cameo then in the show. You know? Like I didn't know.
Yep.
I'm pretty disappointed with She-Hulk, honestly. Like,
so what have you been playing?
Okay. Talks about TV shows and doesn't let me. SpiderMan.
Oh yeah. Good.
Yeah.
Have you modded it at all?
No, I don't want to yet.
Really? Nothing?
No, I don't. I like the costumes. I like the suits. So let me clarify. I like the suit. I'm wearing just the classic suit. That's
you
the
don't
suit
like
I've
the
been
other
wearing
ones?
the whole time. I do, but I'm playing Spider-Man. I want to look like Spider-Man.
Sure. Yeah.
I'm sure I will play it again eventually.
I played the whole game in the Homecoming suit, so
yeah,
I love that Spider-Man suit.
I like
the classic one. I like, but it doesn't.
The back.
It doesn't do that for me.
I'm not a big fan of the like spider on the Homecoming suit.
I love it. It's one of my favorite, like probably top 5 all time.
See, I love the classic suit. Like the classic suit. Like I see that suit and I'm like, well, that's Spider-Man. You know, like
sure.
I see the Homecoming
There's so
suit,
many
I'm
cool
like,
mods though. Like there's the 90s animated series suit.
Yep.
There's Spectacular Spider-Man suit, which changes the model.
Plays Kingpin.
Oh, that's funny.
Swinging through the city.
I'm sure you can play as Peter then, and Stanley and Mary Jane.
Yep. I also modding it is not as simple as Steam Workshop.
No, but there's Nexus mods you download, put in the file. It's really easy.
Have you modded a lot with Nexus?
Yeah, I've modded a ton with everything.
I've modded a little bit with Nexus.
Nexus
and
isn't bad.
It's not bad, but it's not like it's not.
No,
as
Steam
easy
is
as
literally
plug and play.
install.
Yeah, and I can't tell you how many times I've been modding a game and then I mod it and then I turn it on and I'm like, cool, it works. Then I shut it off because I spent the last 2 hours modding and now I don't have time to play. Like,
no, fair enough. I think for me, for Spider-Man specifically, there would be like, I want these suits. Like, honestly, Luke, when I play it, if I play on PC or on a Steam Deck or whatever, the way I'm gonna do it is I'm gonna get the Amazing Spider-Man 2 suit. And then I'm gonna play the whole game.
Yeah.
So that's my favorite Spider-Man suit of all time.
Yeah.
Yeah, easily.
It's a good suit. For
like
sure.
it takes slot 1 and 2 in my top 5.
Wow.
Like I love that suit.
1 is just the suit, and 2 is the suit with the backpack. And 3 is the suit
The
with
suit
the
with
backpack
the
and
beanie.
the beanie.
Yeah, and the jacket. Yeah.
Well, what was I going to say? Oh, yeah, and the mods replace the in-game suits, is from what I
They
was
do,
seeing.
yeah.
So I also want to just play
But
the
there's-
game and see.
But also, to be fair, there are a lot of dumb ones.
No, absolutely. But I want to play the game and see the in-game suits
Yeah.
and everything.
For sure.
I did, however, minor spoilers for Spider-Man. Once, like, the big thing happens at the prison,
Yeah.
I'm now wearing the Spider-Monkey suit, which I thought was kind of...
In the prison or
No,
in
after,
the city?
in the city.
Oh, cool.
So the state that the
Sure.
city's in, you know, like I thought that was a little.
Sure.
And I love that suit.
Yeah.
That is, it's like
So is it like all green and rainy right now
green and
in the
rainy.
city?
I guess you could call it green. It's all rainy.
Yeah. I wore the Ben Reilly suit for that part.
Okay. Yeah.
Scarlet
that's,
Spider.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's a good one. That'd be a good one to wear. You didn't have the Spider Monkey suit though when you were playing it.
That's true. I didn't. Yeah.
Like I like the Spider Monkey suit more than the Noir suit.
Oh really?
Yeah.
I like Noir better.
Really?
Yeah. Especially because it's got the gun holster with no gun.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I didn't catch that.
But
Spider-Man, it's great.
Spider-Man's great.
It is really a bummer that it's so glitchy.
Yeah, that is a bummer.
And I'm
really
trying
kills
to
it.
not let that hurt the game.
Have
for
you
me,
tried
but
throwing it on the TV yet?
It's difficult. No, I don't. I'm playing
Steam
it
Link would be so cool. I just think
Yeah.
it'd be cool.
I feel like it'll. I don't think it would be seamless. I think
It
might
I
be a
think it
little
would be,
buggy.
especially if you connect your controller to your computer directly instead of through the TV.
Well, yeah, but yeah, I don't know. I'm trying not to let the glitchiness like hurt the game for me.
Well,
But
yeah.
it's really difficult to
Totally.
do that. Like, there was a entire cutscene that was ruined.
That sucks.
Like,
that's a bummer.
yeah. So we'll talk a full like Spider-Man review once I'm finished with it on the podcast. But and then we'll yeah. That's all we got.
That's all we got. Well, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Thanks for always being around. You guys are very consistent. I mean, we appreciate it. Hey, if you're made it this far, leave a comment, leave a like,
Subscribe.
say, hey, how's it going? And we'll say, it's good. But also, you could just ask us a question. Maybe, what are some October games that you like? Leave those below. We'd like to know.
October games, scary games.
Yeah,
or any of
anything,
that.
anything like that.
Let's see it.
So yeah, we don't have anything else. So thanks for listening. Bye.